landlord cannot recover possession of the rental unit unless the tenant has abandoned the premises, given notice and vacated voluntarily, or the landlord has obtained an order from the Landlord and Tenant Board. Remember, all tenants have security of tenure and can only be required to leave the rented premises if they do so voluntarily or if the landlord has obtained an order from the Landlord and Tenant Board. To obtain an order, the landlord must provide the tenant with notice as required by the RTA, file an application with the Landlord and Tenant Board, and obtain an order from the Landlord and Tenant Board terminating the tenancy. At the end of this process, if the tenant does not move out of the unit, the landlord will have to file for an eviction. The Court Enforcement Office is the only authority that is authorized to carry out the eviction issued by the LTB.
If the tenant does not vacate the rental unit, according to the LTB order, the landlord must file with the Court Enforcement Office, also known as the Sheriff's Office, and pay the related fees. The landlord must present one certified copy of the order issued by the Landlord and Tenant Board and one copy of the order to the Enforcement Office, together with a completed eviction information request sheet, which is provided by the Enforcement Office. Once this has been completed, a new set of instructions and procedures will be provided to the landlord to follow in order to legally regain possession of the rental unit. The Court Enforcement Office will provide the landlord with the vacate date and instructions and send a notice to vacate to the tenant, instructing the tenant to leave the rental unit on or before a specific date. The date can be as soon as a week away or as far away as a month. If a landlord does not follow the instructions carefully, additional fees may be incurred. On eviction day, the court enforcement officer will attend the rental unit to give possession back to the landlord. If the tenants remain on the premises, the court enforcement officer will ask them to vacate. If the tenants do not vacate, the local police service will be asked to intervene and physically remove the tenants if necessary. The landlord will have to change the locks to the premises in the presence of the court enforcement officer. If the landlord is unable to change the locks him or herself, a locksmith should be scheduled to attend at the time the order is executed by the sheriff. What happens to the tenant's pets? If you are aware that the tenant has pets, let the enforcement office know. They will contact the Humane Society or SPCA if their officer has concerns about the pets. If you are not aware that the tenant had pets in the unit, or if the enforcement office has not made arrangements for the Humane Society or SPCA to remove the pets, the landlord should contact the local authority directly. When a tenant has been evicted following an order of the Landlord and Tenant Board, the landlord must wait a 72-hour period following the eviction before selling, retaining, or disposing of the property. If the tenant contacts the landlord within that 72-hour period, the landlord must make the tenant's belongings available for retrieval between the hours of 8 a.m. and 8 p.m.
For more information about the eviction process, please visit www.landlordselfhelp.com.